Alright, here guys, you're back with another video. Today we're doing well not what if Naruto was Madara's grandson or Madara descended Naruto Uchiha. Now I left off at like the pain attack, but I need to clear some stuff up today. Well, today is not more or less gonna be like, if you have not watched part one, you're gonna be completely lost in like this part because there were some gaps I left out. So if you did so, and I did mention something happened between those gaps in part one, so you'll be like completely confused when I start saying these stuff. And if you haven't watched the comparing parts, like episode 6 of season 2, episode 6 of season 2, you would see some stuff that I fold in. But today I'm gonna basically Naruto's gonna get some character development. I'm not really gonna butter it up. He's gonna get some character development, okay? Every good shonen needs some character development, especially Naruto, because okay. So we start this off at
I can't remember.
alright. So let's start this off, right? We start off at Naruto getting back from a mission, going to the Hokage's office, and basically going to the Hokage's office. Entering the Hokage office, he was with Shikamaru because he did a mission with Shikamaru. When they got into the office, they saw Tsunade and hold up guys, sorry. They saw Tsunade, Shizune, Sasuke, Sai, Hinata, and Karin. Then Tsunade said we had some bad news. Then she would tell Aruka to bring out the box, and then Aruka would bring out 2 boxes, about medium size. Then Aruka gave the boxes to both Naruto and Shikamaru. Naruto asked what this was. Shikamaru had a bad feeling about this. Tsunade then started to explain. There was an accident, and then Menma Kusekabe, or Menma whoever, I can't remember his proper name. He's from the movie. He's from one of the Naruto movies. If you have watched that, you know who he is, you know how he looks. I'm not going to be describing him because I didn't watch much of that movie. Let's be honest here. Menma, like that night guy thingy, yeah, him. I think his name is Minima or Men. If it's Minima or Menma, I'll figure out later. But like, yeah, they would, and then Shikamaru would have an even badder feeling about this. In an accident, he died by Stone Shinobi. Now, when Naruto heard this, he couldn't believe it. Not Shikamaru, but they both knew it was true. Tsunade wouldn't say any of this just for the fun of it. Naruto and Shikamaru started to try to deny it, but in their heart they knew that was not it. That it was. Why is this idiot trying to say we're talking? Nah, I don't want to. Boy, come over here just for the quitting. It's just, let me do my thing. What? You look like Woofro, you know. I don't know why you got Woofro. Anyways. Anyways. I don't know if you paid out, but it's water. Anyways. He went. That's what I was saying. Shikamaru, Naruto, and they couldn't believe it, but they slowly accepted the fact. And Naruto opened the box. He didn't know what was in the box, but it was something that Menma thought that he should give to him. He opened the box. It was a black, what looked like a black cloud jacket, but it had none of the cloud's emblems on it. All it had was the Uchiha symbol on the back and the Uzumaki symbol on the front of in his small Uzumaki symbol on the front on his left shoulder. Yeah. And the kanji for shinobi at the bottom of the Uchiha symbol. Tears started to form in Naruto's eyes. People was getting used to Naruto to crying, but they didn't get used to this. For the first time, Naruto had a sad expression on his face. And Shikamaru, he just broke down. He opened the box, and it had a sash, much like Asuma's sash, but this time it had the kanji. It's two separate kanji, and the kanji spelled out water drag. Now both of them were crying. For the first time ever, Naruto expressing a sad face along with tears, and for Shikamaru, his not lazy personality, just pure sadness between two of them. They picked themselves up with a dead look in their eyes and started to walk out. Hinata and Karin wanted to go after Naruto, but Tsunade told them not to. Both Naruto and Shikamaru went their separate ways, and Naruto went home. But he didn't go. He went to Shisui's old place. He didn't go to his house with Karin and where the Uzumaki clan. He didn't go to the Uzumaki clan compound. He couldn't. I'm talking about the Uzumaki clan compound. It was not just two square buildings. It had house outside the buildings, and then there was a gate. So it had those two square. It had those two buildings surrounding the two square wall buildings surrounding the big mansion in the middle, which was Karin, Hinata's, and Naruto's mansion there, and then there was houses on the outside of the two walls of houses. Yeah, if you understand, you understand. Anyways, Naruto, look what I was saying. Naruto didn't go home that night. He stayed in Shisui's old house, basically. He got up after taking a nap and just put on a black long sleeve shirt and a black pants with black shinobi shoes with bandages at the end of his ankles, and just went off in the village. Time passed and night fell. You could see Shikamaru and you could see Naruto on top of a building, holding the one strap cloud vest look-alike, holding it, crying and bawling, but it seemed like no one could hear him or find where the crying was coming from. All the Konoha 11 heard about it. Not much people know Menma, but the people who did was sad. Well, they didn't know Menma personally, but they knew Naruto and Shikamaru knew Menma. And this is where we go into a flashback. We see Naruto in the playground, and where that scene where Naruto was trying to make friends as a kid, and the parents told, basically that. But this time it would change. Naruto, when the kids were leaving, he would walk past the adults and then pull out the hand signs for release. Then a proof of smoke would happen, and then Naruto would appear in Anbu gear, really. Why do I let that old man tell me to make friends? That's such a pain. And he would put on his mask and burst into a flock of crows. This shocked the people adults that were there. But the only friend Naruto had at this point was Shikamaru, like I said. And Shikamaru wondered where Naruto went. Then we time skip to find Naruto sitting at a fire, cooking fish and like soup and mushroom soup and stuff like that. We see Naruto looking up at the stars, and then we see Hiruzen sit right next to Naruto, and they begin to talk. Naruto's still in his Ambi gear with his mask on the left side of his face, but yeah. Naruto was just there. He wasn't really caring, but like he was just there. He had a dead look in his eyes because this is not too far from when Shisui died, so it's not that far. It's probably about a week or 2 or 3. So Naruto's in Ambu and he's already the captain. He's already the captain, so like yeah. So Naruto still had his taunt on his back. They was beginning to talk, and Hiruzen was the only person he could talk to really. Then Shikamaru came up to the bonfire and started to eat. This is where Hiruzen said that Naruto, you have a mission, and Naruto nodded his head. He got up and asked him what was the mission. Hiruzen said, "Don't be so rushed, Naruto. Naruto boy. It's at least a week from now." Naruto sit back down and just looked at the stars again. Shikamaru was the same. He was both of them were impassive to the world most of the time and just chilled. But let me time skip even further. A week before this, and Naruto was standing in front of the grass village. Now remember, I didn't explain how Karin got into the leaf, but I'm gonna explain it now. Naruto would enter the Cloud Village. Well, not enter the Cloud Village actually. He would sneak into the Cloud Village. He would jump up onto a pole looking over the village, crouching, much like Itachi did when he was mastering the clan. But didn't happen in this original canon. If you remember, Chakra Clan is still alive. Naruto's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan would appear in his eyes, and he would put on his mask. Naruto has been known as the Killer Fox for how ruthless and bloodthirsty he was. You couldn't hear him speak, but you could hear the slight chuckle every time he killed someone. This was true. Naruto did chuckle when he killed someone. He enjoyed it, but he tried his best to show that he didn't. He wanted people to feel his pain, people to feel how he feels right now. That's why Naruto is so bloodthirsty, to be honest. Naruto is just looks over, then he jumps off. Well, then he busts into crows. Anyways, when Naruto busted into crows, he just started to leave. He then appeared in front of the Kage of the village. The Kage, once seeing Naruto, was scared, but Naruto body flickered behind him and chopped off his head. Naruto looked across and saw Jonin and Chunin and even Ambu. Naruto killed all of them in just a silent. You couldn't even hear his footstep. He went on to kill most of the village until he got to Karin's house. Well, the hospital where Karin was held and just like recovering. Naruto picked her up, but Karin got a slight glimpse of Naruto's face. Because he had took off his mask because a little blood has got into the little hole where his like eye was, and it went into his eye, and then he had to rub it out. And he just took off his mask and then put it back on. He then brought Karin to the Ambu squad and they escorted her back to the village. That was the main reason why we're there. Although Naruto was the captain, he didn't want their help, or didn't need it, to be honest. He then went on to kill more of the villagers until he got to a specific house. It was more like run down and just bad in shape in general. Naruto would enter the house and open a door. He would see a yellow-haired kid with red eyes. They Naruto was going to kill them until so no, he didn't see him yet. Sorry, he didn't see Menma yet. There is Menma, but like he saw a sick lady on the ground, saw a sick lady on the bed, and decided to put her out to her misery. Well, that's what she asked him to do, anyways. He got it ready to stop her, but in that second, a boy with a kitchen knife came and collided with Naruto's Tanto. Naruto ficked back, thinking this was Shinobi, but it wasn't. It was just a little boy. Then one of Naruto's eyes flickered. Naruto's left Mangekyo Sharingan flickered. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan flickered. Then he saw Shisui and this boy, how he called the kunai, how he protected his mother. This was Menma Kusekabe. Naruto, he reminded him of Shisui, and Naruto and Menma started to talk and say that he will never let his mother die. Never. And he refuses. I'll never let her die. And he ran towards Naruto. Naruto had tears in his eye at this point because he saw Shisui and this kid. Well, you couldn't really call him a kid because they were technically the same age, but in this unexperienced person, basically, that's the fairest way I can say it. Naruto would start to go, and Naruto wouldn't even fight back. He would just break down. Mendo would stop there and just wonder what was happening. Naruto would explain what happened to him and just realize that he reminded him of Shisui. And remember when he reminded him of Shisui, Naruto would after that Naruto would go and they would start to talk, and yeah. A few days later, Naruto would go back to the village, and he would bring Shikamaru along with him next time he went to see Menma. This would become a reoccurring thing until they became Genin, and this was the last day we were gonna see Menma for a while. During Shippuden, they did see Menma at some points in time, but after that, they didn't see Menma at all. And now Menma's gone and dead. Naruto got up from the roof and jumped off and went back to his house, where the next day rolled around, but he didn't get out of bed. It was nightfall when he actually decided to go and do something, and he went to the store and bought a 3-section lollipop. Shikamaru went to do the same thing, but when seeing Naruto told him to come, and they went and sat on a bench. They both broke off a piece for themselves. Naruto broke off a piece for himself, and Shikamaru broke a piece for himself too, and he left the other one on the bench, just dripping off of the bench. Drip, 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 drip. It wasn't the ice cream that was dripping, it was their tears. This is when two figures stepped out of the shadows and was coming towards Naruto. You saw Aruka and Choji. They started to talk to him. Aruka would give Naruto a speech similar, but obviously changing a little bit because he didn't know much about Menma, at least anything. But he still recommended Naruto, that he was a strong person. All of that things that went on there. But like Shikamaru would give a similar speech too. Yeah, that little tiny thing ends. Damn it, my battery's going low. Anyways. Naruto would go, and this will be the end. I believe I'm gonna like left it off here. I'm gonna do a few things, and then because I actually have to like put my computer to charge. So, anyways, Naruto would go and talk, and yeah, time skip. Now remember, Tsunade is actually in a coma. I said Tsunade was there, but no, it was Shizune. I'm sorry, it's Shizune that gave Naruto information. Tsunade is out cold. Because if you didn't know, she got knocked the fuck out at the pain attack, so she's still out cold. Like, it was Shizune. I messed up, but like, I'm sorry. She's out cold. She night slumber. Anyways, this is where the retrieval thing came in. Sasuke still invaded like the cloud and stuff. This is where they would meet Karui, Darui, and like all Karui, Darui, and Samui. Naruto would meet them, and they would still get an altercation that they did, but Naruto would completely finesse both Karui and Darui, because Samui was somewhere else at the time. Naruto would finesse them and tell them to never to don't speak out of line, and this is where he would put the release sign, and a poof of smoke, something would appear in his hand. It was the Hokage hat, and Naruto put on the hat and told him, next time, don't do anything stupid, and just left. They realized that Naruto was the standing Hokage at this point. Yes, you could argue that Jiraiya would be there, but Jiraiya has no hand. Like, his hand is gone. Like, who's gonna fear a person with one hand? Not me. Anyways, but don't get me wrong, Jiraiya could still throw hands with someone though. He could still throw hands with you, and you would lose. But anyways, I digress. Now, the Kage summon would happen, but I'm gonna get into Kage summon next video, guys. See you. Bye.